Mindset rules to embody into being the person who changes their story. The first thing I really want you to draw into your heads. This is for people who feel stuck at a specific job or relationships. Everything you leave gets replaced with something better. Essentially, the next is always better than the last, and you need to believe that to be true to live in abundance. You need to stop thinking that what you have right now is the best is gonna get. That also goes for people who has a burning desire where they think they can have a better career, get a better relationship, or live in better city, but are too scared to act on them because you afraid of moving forward in the right direction. I promise you, if the desire is there and it is present within you, it's because it was meant for you. God places desires in us because they're what our life is supposed to be. You just have to accept it, believe it to be true, and not look at it as vague or as something that isn't attainable. I used to stay in relationships way too long because I was afraid of what my life would look like without them. I was afraid of being someone who didn't accept certain flaws in people that was no longer serving me. Once I realized it wasn't a selfish act, but an act of self-love, it allowed me to walk away a lot easier from things and people who weren't meant for me. You have to understand that most times people around you would call you selfish and try to convince you that the grass isn't greener on the other side. But remember, that is their own projection. That is how they lived their life. They're always settling. People who dream big, people who meant for more, people who are the creators of a beautiful life are people who don't settle. They're people who believes that the next is always better than the last. So yes, it's possible to have a beautiful experience with someone, work in a better job, and have great friendships. But if it no longer serves you and doesn't feel right, please don't be ashamed to walk away easily. Doing this allows you to not hold into things in a way where it feels toxic to the other person. So you have to constantly affirm positively to yourself when you're trying to change your life. The second mindset rule to changing your life. Your unique abilities are needed and valued in spaces that you accompany. Oftentimes, we have these fear of stepping into spaces that we feel are oversaturated or are being occupied by those who are experts, without realizing you're an expert if the desire for that said thing is very much present. If the desire is there, then you're an expert, and of course you will learn to be better at it. You will learn to improve and feel more confident because you're naturally meant for anything that you desire, and that is something that burns within you. There are so many unique things about you that you can use to your advantage, whether that's how you look, how you act, or where you come from. Use those things about your life and you would be able to change your life. Instead of using those things that happen to you as a way to be insecure and uncomfortable, view them as things that allows you to be more discerning, allows you to step into more spaces, and makes you feel more aware to help others. Use your unique abilities to your advantage and not disadvantage. The third mindset rule. When you're changing your story and shifting your identity altogether, we need to heal by realizing what certain things trigger us and things holding us back from propelling forward and accepting a better story. I realized over the years the past fuels depression and the future fuels anxiety. You need to have a grip on those things and become more present. We can be aware of our past, but we should never live in two places that we no longer exist. We are no longer in the past and we're not in the future, yet, so live in the present. Use your present in a way you never have. It's important we look at our past as way that have guided and helped us, but to release it healthily. You will never see change if you're not the change. Everything in life worth having requires work and effort. Rather than seeing something as hard, view it as effort and discipline. You can embrace new things. You can make it easy to deal with if you change your mind around it. This goes for the perspective around money and love. I've always felt in other to attain love and money. I have to be someone I wasn't. But when I stopped doing that and practiced being exactly whom I was able to align with better people and attracted authentic men in my life. That allowed me to move forward in my desires, knowing I'm gonna get all that I want, because I said so and assumed so. So you need to reflect in a way that isn't about perfection, but awareness and finding self. Realizing when we reflect on the past and also on the now, we have to view it from a place of awareness like, what am I doing wrong? What can I do differently? And how can I push the needle forward to align with my passions and dreams without trying to be perfect or being someone you're not? Changing your story is less about changing whom you are and more so about changing your mindset about whom you are. So, rather than having a negative mindset about your life, speak abundance over your life and believe that anything you desire is possible